Hello and welcome back to the Nexus gaming series. This is the Heroic Grand Finals. We're finally here. I am the Krushinator and I will be your host this evening, and tonight I am joined by Jinxeekatt. How you doing, Jinxe?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a great day for Heroes of the Storm. It's the top amateur division grand finals, and the winner of this series will be securing a spot in the next season of Storm Division. So it's exciting stuff. While we have a moment, let's head over to the tail of the tape. Let you know about this final heroic matchup of the season. Archon, the number 1 seed, coming into tonight at a match record of 11-2. They are 24-7 on the map record. Most played maps for them are Battlefield of Eternity at 4-1, Towers of Doom at 3-1. Taking a look at the heroes for them, 10-2 on Cassia so far this season, 10-0 on Johanna, and 7-2 on Ana. 10 games without a loss on Johanna. That's pretty impressive there, Jinxe.
That's insane. I mean, she's already one of the most played tanks just all throughout the game. And to never drop a map on her, that's a lot of Joe and a lot of good Joe play.
Really good stuff there coming out from Archon. Number 3 seed, Richard and Rit, which I believe we'll be referring to as the Richards tonight. Coming into tonight, 10-3, 24-10 on the map record. Most played maps for them this season. Hanamura at 6-0, Praxis Holdout at 3-2. Most played heroes for them, currently 9-5 on ETC, 6-2 on D.Va, 5-2 on Ana. So some definitely favored tanks on both squads, and a shared love of Ana, so we'll have to see how these two teams clash for that hero.
So I've seen a lot of teams who kind of have a favorite hero that go to the top, and it usually ends up they trade it back and forth. Whoever gets the favorite hero, they win for a little bit, and then maybe it eventually ends up becoming banned. So we'll see if that's the case tonight, or if some of those healers, in this case, just have something else up their sleeve.
Absolutely. Looks like our teams are chomping at the bit and ready to go. I've given them the casters ready. We're going to jump over to the map screen for just a moment, let you all know about the state of tonight's matchup. Praxis Holdout, Hanamura Temple, Infernal Shrines, and Battlefield of Eternity are banned out for this series, as you may have noticed. A lot of those are the top maps for these two teams, so some good scouting going on. And our first draft is going to be on Dragonshire, as chosen by the Richards. Let's jump into that draft, see what our teams have in store for us.
So, right out the gate. There it is, the Ana ban.
Sacrificing the opportunity to take it themselves is Archon, just taking it right off the board, setting the tone right away here.
So that's really interesting. They did have the first pick, so they could have snapped it up. But again, if you play a lot of Ana, you also know the counters. There's that Johanna ban not wanting to deal with it. You guys are going to have to play something else as the Richards.
Tanks being taken off the board on both sides. No one's going to be on the comfort picks tonight. Going into our 4th ban here. It's going to be Junkrat. Very strong, especially on Dragonshire when there's such small points that Junkrat can control. And there's the Cassia coming out from Midnight Haze.
Really strong pickup. Lots of good stuff still available. When you ban the comfort, you allow some of those super S-tier picks to come through. You know, Chromie, Gazlo, D.Va, all still available. We'll see if any of those get snapped up here. Love the Cassia. It's going to be Rexar Phoenix coming in. No surprise, Ryokai, probably one of the best Phoenix players in North America, so he's going to get his favorite hero.
Absolutely. Strong Cassia from Midnight Haze, but an equally strong Phoenix coming out from Ryokai. Phoenix is one of those heroes where, I don't know, I try to play Phoenix and it never works out, and then I watch someone else, I watch Ryokai, I watch Juan Pablo play it, and it's like just like breathing air for them. They're looking great out there on the Protoss. But it's going to be Deckard and Falstad coming in for Archon here. Interesting stack here, Jinxe.
So we're going to see a little bit more Deckard, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Medallion is no longer in play. That went away at the beginning of this week, so the teams won't be playing with that, and as such, Deckard CC sticks a little bit better, especially since things like a Scroll of Sealing have a little bit more setup time to them, and they're a little bit more telegraphed. Falstad I really like as well. They can go ahead, fly around, look for the ganks. So all around, I'm really digging Archon's comp because they have a solid lead so far.
Absolutely. We're going to see the Maiev banned, so that does leave something like a Brightwing up and available. if the Richards want to come through with a global of their own. Now, Brightwing stock was very, very high in the medallion meta just because you can't medallion out of the polymorph. And there was a slight nerf to her level 1 talent, but still seeing a lot of play here. Do you think that's going to come into play this series?
It's a great pick on this map. So far we have Imperious and Uther, so maybe not this time round. Usually you see the Brightwing as someone who can come in, teleport up to that top lane to help out the top lane and get a quick kill, look for a gank, something like that. But now that we see the Uther, we can see that the priority for the Richards is most likely going to be in the bottom lane. They have that extra armor going to try and sustain down there.
That infamous Imperious Uther frontline often countered by a Deathwing? No, it's going to be Garrosh and Kira. Kira has been basically absent the entire medallion meta for that reason, and we get to see them in the grand finals here. Exciting.
I'm super hyped, just like you said. I haven't seen a Kira in I don't think above a Division B game since they released the medallion. So finally coming in for Hayes here. Muffin gonna finish out the draft on the Tychus, and I think it's a fantastic pick into Virtuoso's Garrosh here as we get in. Anytime Garrosh just tries to run at you, you can pop that trait and chunk him down because armor doesn't work versus percent damage.
Absolutely. We're gonna be loading in here to game number 1. Archon versus the Richards. Here we go. Alrighty, loading on in here to game number 1. On the left in the blue, we have Archon. JTR is on the Falstad. Little Bex is on the Deckard. Midnight Haze is playing Cassia. Hayes is on the Kira. Virtuoso playing the Garrosh.
And over here on the right-hand side, we got the Pie Maker on that Imperious. Secret is going to be your Uther. Ryokai on that Phoenix. Crafty Devil is your Rexar. And Muffin rocking that Tychus.
Clashing here in game number 1. There's the Rexar open up. Look at that. Pie Maker getting thrown back, but Midnight Haze is going to get away, and it's going to be Imperious falling first here. Great engage and counter engage. Fireworks right off the bat.
Fantastic play by Archon there. Imperious loves to go in for the spear. One of the worst things for Garrosh is to throw Imperious into the backline because he can't get the spear off. Once it's already out, not a whole lot of spear value to be gained afterwards, of course. So throw into the towers does end up resulting in him going down. Oh no, Kira though traded out in the bottom lane, does fall down. So 1-1 so far.
Ryokai managed to avoid that same mirrored gank in the bottom lane, but Kira falling in the top lane. So good rotations from our two teams as they're now setting up for these siege camps. I'm interested to see what this Kira Rexar matchup is going to look like here. It's been fabled that Kira would be a great Rexar counter just because of that kill pressure, and having 2 bodies gives Kira that much more self-sustain. So that's going to be a really cool matchup to watch.
I'm really excited to see it just because we haven't really gotten to see much of Kira at all. It was kind of weird fitting her into the meta, then the medallion came out, so this is just one of the first couple times we're going to see it. Garrosh does manage to avoid Imperious Spear down here in the bottom, gets a great throw, has opted for that unrivaled strength at level 1, so not stacking despite great stun onto several members right there, able to back out, gets healed up by Deckard, and now in the bottom, everybody just looking to clear out these siege giants. But Richard pushing in, clasping at this gate, but I don't think they're going to get it quite yet.
Looks like they're starting to back off a little bit, rotating towards JTR. The barrel roll is going to be enough for Falstad to escape. The siege is going to continue here. Looks like Hayes and Crafty Devil are trading pretty evenly for the moment. So checking in on our cool and attractive top laners there. It looks like Kira may be in some trouble. Gank is on the way. Now it's heading back to Falstad. Uh-oh, JTR. Double stun, double dead. That's it for Falstad.
Oh, man. Didn't even see it coming. Great play by Hayes if they're staying on the mount, not stepping out. They didn't know where anybody was. Volstad, not as lucky. Sees everybody rotate, figures he's safe, tries to get the soak, and unfortunately, just nothing you can do when you're a squishy bird boy. Wasn't able to get off that barrel roll in time.
Falstad will start to stack up the survivability talents as the game goes on. We do see it is hammer gains on 4, so no static shield to be had just yet. But the barrel roll talents come in a little bit later, so JTR should have a little bit of an easier time as the game goes on. Garrosh may not have such an easy time, even with Indomitable. Oh, look at the heals coming on through from Little Bex. Some very well-timed potions, and Virtuoso is going to get away here.
Everybody was saying that there was a big issue with Deckard after the Ruby nerf, that he's not a good healer anymore, but every single series that I have been a part of this weekend, we've seen a ton of Deckard, and he puts in so much work. The healing is just unreal, and there's case in point right there. Every single fantastic Deckard was like, what Ruby nerf, you know, what are you talking about? He's so fantastic, and was able to do it. JTR, great barrel roll, nice stab follow-up from the Pie Maker. Not able to find that kill, but they were able to grab the Dragon Knight, so it is something. 4-minute Dragon Knight, very powerful, not the greatest. They're going to take a bottom, see if they can get some work done down there.
Richards heading on down to the all-important bottom lane here on Dragonshire, going to try to... Oh, Ryokai actually thrown in there. The Indomitable is committed. Dragon actually kicking Cassia down into the bottom camp area. So it looks like the Richards are going to try to peel back and get this Cassia kill. Furious lands the stun, but there's the Into the Fray. Virtuoso coming in with the save.
Great use of the Into the Fray there. Kira in a little bit of trouble now. Hayes is going to be under fire by Dragon and Crafty Devil. However, it's just a Rexar. Not a ton of damage right out the gate. Oh no, speaking of gate, gets behind in time. Dragon goes for a little dance, able to push back. We're going to find both these towers going down, and a surprising amount of damage coming out from the very first Dragon. However, does go down. That's a great use of Scroll of Sealing. Beautiful spear by the Pie Maker. Midnight Haze running for their life. Now, again, no kills found quite yet. Bear is going to be trapped. Everybody backs out. Goes to reset. It's back to land, back to camps.
One thing to note, you were mentioning the Ruby nerf on Deckard. It is actually Potion of Shielding on level 4, so that's going to be helping a lot. If Little Bex can land these potions around the gank target, they're going to get that much more shielding on these burst attempts.
Just a little bit extra to keep him alive. Right off the gate, it does help with the Imperius. He's got a lot of burst damage right up front. And if you can shut down Imperius's burst, then you kind of just shut down the hero in general, because as much damage as Imperius does, he's not very good at really anything else. So, great pickup there by Little Bex. We have level 10s online for the side of the Richards. So far, everything standard coming out safe. Uther, who's gone for the Divine Storm, so really looking for some lockdown there.
Ryokai poking in there, just checking on this camp. Looks like the team may want to move in. They're going to be just a step too late. Taking a look over at the heroics of Archon, looking pretty standard there. It is going to be the final strike for Kira, so look for those long kill attempts on the heroic, and it is Ball Lightning for Cassia, so you won't see the Valkyrie moving into that back line this match.
I like the Ball Lightning, gonna help out, and especially with the Rexar, that's an extra body for it to bounce to. A little bit of extra kill power for them there. Everybody up in the top side from the Richards, looking to jump on top of
look at that.
There. Oh, great gang. You don't typically see that anywhere else. Kira tries to use the revolving swoops to get away, but delaying the inevitable does finally fall. Gonna push with this bruiser, and this should be the top 4 going down here.
Richards, patient as ever. The Bruiser camp coming in just in time to draw that cannon fire. That's going to be top fort going down. Not exactly a very sought-after fort, but it's going to help out Rexar a lot in that solo lane matchup versus Kira, just having that much more space to work with.
Archon does have at least down here. Unfortunate that top fort was taken. You never like to see a fort go down in any lane. I was going to say they're getting value in the bottom. Great throw taunt onto Imperius. Nice use of the cleanse there. Out comes the angelic armaments. There's the Ball Lightning. Uther with the divine shield trying to get out. Those Secret is not going to get out. Rio tries to save the day, going to do a little bit of damage just to dissuade, may end up giving their life. Gonna get a throw onto Muffin. Oh gosh, it's a bloodbath trying to find it. Nice to be unstoppable from that Commandeer Odin. Fight still going on. They're chasing in. Uther the only one to go down, using that cleanse to get Imperious out of the stay while and listen, ultimately trading their life for it.
The Richards do end up losing the Uther, but they pick up a Dragon Knight that's wailing away on this mid fort. Gonna go ahead and take that down. Bottom fort will be the focus here, as the rest of the Richards are coming on through to try to poke down this final fort. With Uther back on the battlefield and 30 seconds left on this Dragon, they very well may do this.
Is a great defense coming out here from Archon, though. JTR, nice use of the barrel to push it under the tower. You can't stop the Dragon Knight once it's in kick animation. And now he's caught underneath there. Cassia, though, going to go down. Stay a while, is back up, catches everybody. A punch puts that to rest pretty quickly. You're right, Crush. They are going to get this bottom fort. Oh, wait.
Oh, look at the gust coming out from JTR. It's a kill for a kill, Cassia for a Tychus. And JTR is going to save this bottom fort for now, so there will be no periodic catapults to be had as we see the Richards moving on back towards this siege camp. See, the XP is very even for our teams right now. The Richards slightly ahead, looking mostly like it's mostly passive in structure. So that's something that Archon can absolutely catch up on as the game goes on.
Just need to find a couple of team fights here or there if they want to get ahead. I mean, we're 3 to 4 in kills right now. Nothing that they should be concerned about. Once we start getting, level talent tiers, then maybe they should look for it.
Ryokai could be in trouble here.
Yeah, Rio able to sneak past. I don't know if Archon saw him there, had to back out.
Looks like Archon will get the defense here. The Richards moving around the map, thinking about possibly moving onto this Bruiser, doing what they do best on this Imperious Uther, and that's catch people off guard. Speaking of off guard, that's going to be it for Garrosh, committing the Divine Storm. That's a 30 seconds without a tank here. What can the Richards do with this?
Oh man, they basically own this map now. I mean, that was the thickest player on the side of Archon, and now they don't have anybody who can engage for them. They have to pretty much give whatever the Richards want here. They're going to start with the Bruiser camp, maybe look to even push in on this middle tower, see if you can't get to one of these towers. Look for probably not top lane. That is where the Bridge of Death is. You never really want to fight on that. Shrines will be active in 10 seconds. Garrosh will be back, but does allow for the Richards to at least get good positioning on whichever shrine they choose.
Looks like Ryokai is setting up for the bottom cap. Going for a quick dragon here are the Richards. Piemaker is already set up. There's nothing that Archon can do here. It's going to be a third dragon going over to the Red Richards. And it looks like they're starting to head down to the bottom lane and possibly threaten this keep.
Richards have been so dominant in this game. Imperious, beautiful pickup into Garrosh. Really engaged is to only walk at you. Imperious loves heroes that want to step up into his rage. So anytime he comes in, just met with a spear to the face has made it so hard for them to find value. Until they can get in and throw him, then it becomes a different game. So far, Piemaker not allowing that to happen. We're going to see the punch onto Cassia. They're looking for the keep. Dragon is sitting at about 30% health, so really being chewed down on not a whole lot of value despite the free dragon. They find the talent here though, so the members just able to walk away for free, happy with the wall.
Richards, you're looking for an opportunity to move up, but it was really just the Odin with Tychus that was able to contribute to the siege. Garrosh has been having a little trouble into this Uther Imperious, but absolutely you do not want to go near Garrosh when he's inside keep range. So good defense there. Not able to move on to bother this Bruiser cap, so it looks like Archon is going to start to move back and just keep up the clear and keep up the road to level 20 here.
I have to commend Archon for at least being able to stay on top of these lanes. They are pushing in a little bit, but nothing has really come to do a heck of a lot of damage. They've been able to dissuade the minions, so nothing's stacking up, nothing's constantly pushing. It's been a lot of hard work, but they've been able to prevent a lot of unnecessary damage, so good on them. Haven't really sacrificed too many camps or anything either. Aren't going to see them take that bottom camp yet. In fact, finally rotating down. River camp picked up by the side of the Richards.
At a brief 2-level advantage here. Virtuoso trying to make sure that there's no unseen gank coming. We're going to see the siege camp picked up on the left-hand side. Right now, it looks like the Richards just trying to play with the map vision. Move around, try to catch people in rotations as they've been doing through this game. JTR hanging out in lane here. Crafty Devil going to move across. But oh no, it looks like a counter gank, and we're going to have our first full-blown team fight here as Rexar actually blown up. Ryokai getting pushed into the back by JTR. Phoenix trying to get away here. That's going to be tough. Ryokai finally going down here. And Archon putting a little bit of a bait there with the birdie. Pick up 2 kills.
Oh, man, that was a fantastic bait by the side of Archon on the team fight they desperately needed. Meanwhile, Hayes was able to get that clear in the top lane. So getting value all over the map. They saw the fall side. They were like, all right, let's get another easy kill. But then instead, the whole U.S. Army waiting in the bush finds him, gets a couple of quick picks. And now we could be seeing Archon grabbing their first dragon. Still a long way to go to get there, but JTR is up in the top lane. He would be able to fly down.
Garrosh in some trouble here. Has to pop the Indomitable. They're already so low. Oh, look at that healing coming on through. Garrosh just living forever with those super potions. Gonna push the Richards back again, and all of a sudden, big signs of life coming out from Archon as Falstad is gonna fly down and think about picking up a Dragon Knight. Of course, there's a catapult there. But it's going to be enough. JTR going to grab the first dragon of the game here for Archon. Big sleep onto 2. Oh no, Tychus in all sorts of trouble here. Oh, Muffin's going to get away.
Couple ultimates coming out there, but Dragon was secure. They're going to bring it down to the bottom lane, and now teams are neck and neck now. Only a level behind. It was a whole 2-level lead, but Archon has since caught up. Couple of things have come online for them now, making the team fight a little bit better. Kira should be able to join up with the team soon. And now we have the booming kick. The revolving sweep stuns everybody in an area. So once she gets in, she should be able to stun most of the back line. And I think these team fights are about to get really scary for the Richards. They're going to have to be real careful. However, they're playing this pretty well. First Dragon Knight for Archon, and they're not getting a whole lot with it.
This fort just now going below 100% health, and that's going to be it for the Dragon Knight. So still 6 structures up over on the side of the Richards as they're thinking about their next engage. Look at that Tychus grenade just scattering the members of Archon with that percent damage.
Great protection by Ryokai there and Tychus, like you said. Extra percent damage does work on the dragon as well, so able to shred it down. Let's see if I know Tychus or Ryokai Phoenix does have percent damage. I'm seeing if he went it. Looks, yes. Okay, so they did lots of percent damage. Makes it much easier to chunk the big boy out. Level 20.
Are
Go right ahead.
Sorry, the team's
You are totally
playing with
fine.
vision here. Archon trying to find their level 20. Uh-oh, here comes the members of the Richards. They're going to be seen as they come across. Trying to wait, and there it is. The engage is up. Hayes with the gigantic stun there. Boar's out as well. Hayes trying to get away from Pie Maker here, but that's going to be it for Kira. The Gust coming in just a second too late, and the Richards finally get the better of one of these late-game team fights. Looks like we have a pause coming out from JTR. As we have a disconnect, we're going to bring it back to the caster cameras as our players go ahead and sort that out.
Oh man, don't you hate it when you get deleted so fast you actually get booted from the game?
Got to go fix some source files, and we'll have Hayes right back in here. Taking a look at this, it was a 19 to 20 attempt there from Archon. They got the engage they wanted with that booming kick from Kira, but ultimately just so much control, so much damage over on the side of the Richards. Turn that fight. Oh, game is ready. That was a quick one. We're heading back in, and the Richards, with the spoils of victory, are going to go ahead and try to take this bottom keep here, Jinxe.
Just all those abilities coming in all at once, you know, sometimes it crashes the game. With this Odin, they should be able to grab the keys. They have 4 catapults or siege giants here as well. Another minion wave on the way. No Kira to help with the defense. Heroes that they've chosen are pretty low range, so there it goes. Keep goes down. Shrines will be up in just a couple of moments. And this is going to be, once again, the Richards getting into position. Now, they picked this map, if I remember correctly, yes, because they are looking really strong.
Absolutely. Uh-oh, Virtuoso's going to be caught. does actually scout out the bush, stops one of the stuns. That's it for Garrosh. A nice bit of map control coming out from the Richards. Find a pick onto the enemy tank once again. Looks like we may have another quick dragon here. With only one down, I don't know if this is definitely game, set, match just yet, as Archon is starting to move up to try to buy some time here. JTR avoiding the Impale. But Rexar going to be capping top. Ryokai is already capped bottom. And here comes the Dragon. Piemaker getting ready. Are they going to go for a keep, or are they going to go for the core here?
We're going to burn the wind tunnel onto Ryokai. JTR just trying to live right now. And it looks like the Dragon Knight is headed for the bottom lane. The whole team is here. Garrosh still down for another 22 seconds. Cassia going down. I don't know how viable a team defense is looking anymore now that that's Kira, gonna bite the dust. They're gonna try their best. We could be looking at the beginning and the end here, Crush.
Dragon starting to move in. The Odin is gonna come on out. Secret just moving forward. The double stun is there. Dragon is on the core. Ryokai gotta be a little bit careful here. That's Cassia down though. Uh-oh, Ryokai so low, but the core shielding is gone, 75%. The Unconquered Spirit keeping Phoenix alive for now. Phoenix is going to fall, but so is the core of Archon. The Richards pick up the first map of this series. GG.
GG. It's never a true death if you're dying for the core. Very nicely done. Richards coming right out the gate, hitting the ground running. Played the map beautifully, took some really strong heroes, and I really have nothing but compliments all around. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. They found the picks that they wanted, and we're just on top of it all.
Really, really solid game coming out from both sides. We see it in the kill count, only 9-6. Great control in the team fights from both sides, but that Imperious Uther, so difficult to deal with, even for Garrosh, with that Indomitable falling to a couple ganks that game. It was Muffin on the Tychus, did about 44,500 hero damage, topping the charts there for the Richards. Midnight Haze on the Cassia, dealing a little over 52,000 hero damage, looking really strong out there as well.
You know, look at the talent, see if there's anything that we absolutely need to talk about. I think one of the things that really worked well for the teams here is Kira is supposed to be the counter into Rexar. So the team just consistently came up and ganked the Kira anytime that it looked like Crafty Devil might have been struggling into any of these lanes, came up, dealt with her, and had to push her back, or even got the kill. So there wasn't a whole lot that Haze could do here. They just ended up falling behind in the lane, when that was kind of the whole point, is to dominate the island, find value elsewhere, and you can't dominate the island, your whole strategy just kind of falls apart.
Absolutely.
Well played by the Wizards.
Even without the medallion there, we saw Kira doing a little bit of work there, but ultimately couldn't quite get the value. We'll see if Kira comes out further in this series, whether there's going to be any particular comps that we see Haze bring that out again. But it wouldn't surprise me if Archon tries something a little different in game number 2. And it looks like we won't have much time to wait, because we've already got a lobby. We're looking at Volskaya Foundry here for game number 2.
Very nice. Now remember, guys, it is the first game in a best of 5 series, so still plenty of games to come, plenty of time for the members of Archon to turn it around. And I believe you said earlier, Crush, right, that the Richards this season is the only team that gave Archon a couple of losses this season.
Archon dropped 2 matches. One of them, they dropped a 2-1 to somebody. I'm not sure. I can't remember who it was, but their only 2-0 loss this season was to the Richards. That is the lead up into this grand finals for sure. Looks like the teams are starting to get ready here. So we'll jump on over to the map screen. Let you know, remind you, if you're just joining us, the state of this series. Braxis Holdout, Hanamura Temple, Infernal Shrines, and Battlefield of Eternity have been banned out for this series. We just saw the Richards choose and were victorious on Dragonshire. And now the Richards are taking us to Volskaya Foundry here for game number 2. Very different style map here, and it's a map that we've seen some big changes on, definitely around the CCL, but also around the higher divisions here in NGS. Do you think that the sort of anti-objective style that we've kind of seen here is going to come through, Jinxe?
I'd really like to see it. I think it makes for a more interesting game. The objective has always been kind of weird on this one, just because you have to put 2 players in it. And in a late game, you're just giving the enemy a free 2v or 3v5 on your back line, especially if you're putting the tank in there to get maximum siege value. So I hope to see it. I think it's a much more fun way than just seeing the big robot run it down.
Absolutely. Once teams started to figure out that you're allowed to walk past the robot, it became a little bit more interesting there, a little bit harder to just push on in. But it can also inform hero choices. If you think about how you want to put together a comp, who you're going to end up putting into that mech, you think about the rest of your team, maybe you think about stuff like Sylvanas, you think about stuff that, you know, has a little bit of escapability if the rest of the team were to collapse on top of them. Looks like the draft is already all set. Let's jump on in there and see what our teams can show us here on Volskaya Foundry.
Wonder if we'll see similar bans, if they're going to try something different considering the map. Maybe the Ana will come out this time, as both teams really seem to like it. I definitely think the ETC and the Joe were smart bans last time round.
Yeah, throwing off the anchor of the team in that tank, making them play something that they're not used to. Absolutely a strong strategy. It's going to be the Phoenix. Ryokai doing some serious work last series, working the edges, and we won't see it again. There's the Johanna ban that we expected.
So, is this ETC? Is this the Ana now? I'm going to do the caster math in my head. Okay, so Archon do have the first pick. So they can take the Ana if they want here.
Ana is one of their most played healers. We're going to see Chromie banned away this time. Definitely a stronger pick on Volskaya than Dragonshire, as you can really set up on the fight pads ahead of time. And we're going to see a Diablo ban actually coming on out from the Richards. Do we see an ETC tank steal here, or are there just other things that Archon's interested in right now?
I wouldn't be surprised if we see it picked up right here. He's still a pretty good tank despite his recent nerfs. It is a steal, and then they're going to go with the Cassia once again. You know, maybe we'll see ECC picked up here by the Richards. And yep, there it is. Ana and ECC. They've got to be really happy with those pickups.
Just like they drew it up, Highmaker back on that favorite ETC secret on the Ana. Interesting to see JTR picking up the Cassia there. We saw Midnight Haze playing it last time. Could be, you know, I mean, I'm sure they can all play Cassia. May have been Mora who can play Falstad in the last game, but we're going to see Archon. They're looking down at their favorite healer. They're looking down at the opposing team's favorite tank. There's the Mephisto. We have seen some Mephisto come out from Archon this season. I believe this will be the 5th or 6th game on the the Board of Hatred there.
I like the Mephisto coming out. He's one of the strongest heroes on this map, just because when you're fighting over the point, it's really hard to avoid the Lightning Nova. So solid pickup. You can pop in, do some damage, pop back to safety. I think the Deckard is a great pickup once again into the Ana, just because you can kind of try and delay the healing. A Nubarak banned out, and that's what I was going to suggest there for Archon. He's a great counter to ETC. Sylvanas immediately snap banned away. That's another favorite of Ryokai. I know, you know, he's basically a Ryokai Sylvanas player, a Phoenix Sylvanas player. I'm really worried for Archon here. What do you pick as a tank? I mean, Mal'Ganis is still available.
I mean, you've got two shifty heroes in Cassia Mephisto. Maybe you can do something like a Garrosh, although throwing a Garrosh throw into a Mephisto isn't fantastic. Lunara Yrel. Could we see something like, you know, a solo Uther in the front? They could do, you know, they could steal the Imperius as well. That is up and available. Alright, an interesting choice here for Ryokai.
We've seen a lot of Lunara lately, and I'm just, did she get buffed? I just know a lot of folks.
Not sure. It's gonna be May here. May for Virtuoso. Hayes gonna be on the Leoric this time. Thinking about the Lunara, like, Lunara, I feel maybe for Mephisto, just being able to put some damage that's going to follow Mephisto right back to his body.
That's a really great point, to be able to activate that that spores on him, just be able to continuously poke at him a little bit, have the vision maybe. We're gonna go for Maya for Muffin. Pull him right back, and I'm not sure if the tether follows Mephisto through his shade. Something we'll maybe be able to see today. Does not follow Leoric, does make him unstoppable.
Got a lot of comforts coming out here from the side of the Richards, but some strong damage coming out from Archon as well. This is going to be a pretty crazy matchup. Let's get into it. Game number 2, Archon versus the Richards. Here we go. Alrighty, here we go. Game number 2. On the left in the blue, we have Archon. JTR going to be playing the Cassia. Midnight Haze on the Mephisto. Haze is playing Leoric. Little Bex back on the Deckard. And Virtuoso is playing the Mei.
And over here, once again, on the right-hand side, we've got Muffin on that Maya. Ryokai playing the Lunara. Secret is going to be your Ana. Crafty Devil on that Urel. And the Pie Maker on that favorite ETC. This is Richard and Ree. And now on to Volskaya Foundry.
Game number 2 is underway here. It's going to be an interesting clash in the mid. Mei is always a little bit of a wild card. Everything, you know, she does so much out on the map, but none of it has the snap of these other tanks. So it's always interesting to see whether it actually comes into anything. As Crafty Devil getting a triple knockback. Cassia going to be taken out here as Ryokai managing to slip away. So, we had some serious resets coming in from Muffin. Huge damage from the Maiev.
Yeah, I'm starting to see why they play these hero often and what the combo is, because yikes, I thought for sure that was going to be a triple kill. It was really only the Mei Blizzard that saved everybody there, and we ended up actually finding a death. Once again, first blood going over to the side of the Richards. JTR, once again, falling there really quickly. They just seem to have the number in this middle fight on the side of the Richards.
Checking in on our solo laners, a classic Leoric Urel matchup. Both gonna sort of whack away at each other, not do a whole ton of extra damage. Just soaking those lanes and being the XP collectors that their teams need. Shout out to Haze and Crafty Devil.
Always the coolest and most attractive players on the team. They sacrifice their screen time so we can have XP. And that's just the name of the game right now. Everybody rotating around. They go ahead, pick up those turrets, as you do with the 1 minute mark. We should see a fight here momentarily for the support camp. It's just the way it's played at this level of play. After everybody, of course, finds those sweet XP globes.
Piemaker has just kind of been living over on Archon's side of the map here, just making those rotations very, very difficult. And we're actually going to see Muffin start up this heal camp, so the Richards feeling very confident about their zone control here. Piemaker starting to move back a little bit. Muffin is not done yet. Gonna warp up to the top lane. Still trying to bait this heal camp over, sort of a long siege before finally giving up here.
The biggest issue I have for the Richards is that unless they can really find the Maiev pull on this camp and just kind of poking and harassing at it, is I think at least early, Archon has a little bit more point control. They have the Mephisto, they have the Mei. If they're fighting over that heal pulse, they can throw down the Lightning Nova, the Blizzard, and then maybe Richards are going to be in trouble. But it looks like everyone has since forgotten about that and are just heading back to lanes. We're going to find Mei up here. They do get an interrupt on that skating away, so they have to run out. But they find the Deckard Potion, eat a lot of health, find a tap, but manage to stay alive.
Team's going ahead and working on their siege camp. Gonna time that out with our first objective. Normally here on Volskaya, we see those siege camps taken. We see the split to clear those camps, find level 7, then finally jumping onto the point. Looks like our tanks are gonna have 1,000-yard stare at each other. Piemaker moving across to start those auto attacks. As being the first to start channeling here is a little bit of an advantage that these teams want to take.
Richards going to have that early advantage here. Just Urel on the point for the moment. Archon going to step up. Now, setting up some potions, getting ready. Out from the scroll ceiling, not hitting anybody quite yet. May has a little bit of a harder time here. Like you were saying earlier, the CC coming out is so very slow for her. So you really have to kind of find someone to lock him down. And no CC on Archon is very fast. Here it comes in. Going to find the stun onto... there's no one CC there. Maiev, who does end up going down. Great use of Mephisto on the point. This is what we're talking about. One of the reasons you can draft him on the map. It's his damage is just so inescapable.
Richards have had their siege camp pushing in the top lane for a bit, leaving a lot of XP on the ground. But Archon doing a good job getting that pick and getting the channel time here. Looks like JTR is going to go ahead and pick up a second turret. Going to need someone else to come over and actually grab it once that camp is captured as the Richards look to regroup here.
Just playing it very slowly. Now, Virtuoso is very survivable, so they can stay on this point for not that long, actually, if they're forced off by the Urel hammer. Have to back away.
Oh, Muffin on the back line here. JTR in some trouble, has to drop the turret as Muffin trying to warp on through. Cassia actually taken out here. Virtuoso pretty low as well as Ryokai working in that poison. That's May going down. Midnight Haze and Little Bex have the escape. Haze may not be so lucky. Normally you don't think of a gank onto Leoric, but that's very, very low. Uh-oh, Muffin might have a little bit overcommitted there. Looks like Maev's going to be just fine.
Oh man, the old Leo gank, you know, typical. No, actually, both turrets had to be used by the side of Archon there. They won't have anything coming back for this last fight. It looks like there won't be a last fight. This first protector, maybe? It's the last chance for Archon to come in and get this. Haze is back, the whole team is back. They have full health, full mana stepping up. Turrets have been dropped by the side of the Ristas. Mephisto coming in, Virtuoso surrounded by God and everybody. ETC dives in, does not have that mosh pit just yet. Not level 10. Little Bex full of poison. Lunara traded out for Decker. Urel gonna go down as well. That is gonna be the 2-for-1. And as such, the members of Archon gonna hold this for a little bit of time. Tiemaker has to go back. Maev's gonna grab some soak top, try to get level 10, and they'll have one more shot at this.
Very long first objective here. Both teams looking at level 10 before the first protector even hits the map. Very, very back and forth here as we have the heroics coming on in. Tiemaker actually still contesting it, so this objective is not over yet. Cassia starting to come down. Urel's back on the battlefield, and these teams aren't willing to give this up. We're going to have a full heroics team fight here as Midnight Haze being jumped on. Mephisto managing to get away from the majority of that damage, but look at the back line. Lunara caught out. Urel thrown underneath the towers as Haze is pushing back the rest of the Richards. Can Crafty Devil get away? JTR's on the chase. One more Lightning Fury. Oh, Haze is here as well. Oh, the Ardent Defender. Is it actually going to be enough? It is. Crafty Devil gets away. Archon does manage to pick up the Protector, and they're going to finally, after reaching level 11, head on up to the top lane with their first objective of the game.
I wasn't sure if Crafty Devil was going to use the Ardent Defender there, and I was like, if you try to get away without ulting, that is the greediest play, and you deserve to die. But they did the right thing. They popped the ult. They live. Are going to see Archon pushing up here in the top. They grab the well, as is standard. Going to head back down to mid, look for some damage there. First Protector not getting a whole lot. Actually, gonna find this middle wall. A couple of towers going down. I believe they only got one up in the top lane there. So just chasing back. You always want to drop off your support responsibly. Maiev opting not to go back in under towers. And everybody just heading back there. Camps to be selected. There's XP to soak. A little bit behind for the Richards. Going to start this heal pulse here. Get another item to contest with. Midnight Haze scouting it out. Nobody in position to grab it though. So we'll go over to the side of the rescue.
Getting back to the macro, here are our two teams. Protector softening up that top fort. Uh-oh, Haze could be in some trouble. There's the leaping strike from Ryokai. Leoric just going to get poked down to a bat. Oh gosh, look at that. The Q damage coming on out from Lunara, surprisingly high. So we see the Richards going ahead and picking up their next item. And yeah, probably not going to be a lot of action. Not exactly pick comps coming out from our two sides. So really just going to be playing the map for the most part. until we see level 13s at least, and definitely the next objective.
I really like the Lunara the more that we continue on here. It's definitely growing on me. The 1v1 capabilities in the lane are insane. Lunara is probably the best duelist in the game. So, excellent choice by the Richards. However, I thought for sure as we went through, you know, that I was like, Archon kind of lost the draft, but they've really surprised me with their picks. The Mephisto has been getting so much value on these points. The Mei shutting down a lot of the combos, and I forgot the classic Deckard into ETC tries to go in with the Mosh. You can kind of shut that down, you know. No house parties when the old man's around, so it is still anyone's game.
Absolutely. I think Archon had a little bit more of a high execution comp, but it's the heroic division. These are high execution players. So it's been fun to see how these teams interact as we start heading towards Objective B. Just sort of poking in on the edges. Muffin thinking about moving across. There's actually the Warden's Cage. They want to find this kill onto JTR. Midnight Haze once again buzzing around with that lightning damage. Heal Camp is going to be forced out. Look at the full duration mosh pit. Mephisto and Cassia go down. That's all the damage gone from the side of Archon. Haze trying to just lower the damage over from the Richards. Virtuoso, the short range icing's going to be enough. And finding a fight where you don't normally see one there on Volskaya, picking up a couple kills here.
Really great job of Timemaker waiting until the stay wall had been used before initiating with the mosh pit. The nano on the Maiev, just giving her even faster resets on the Q. Warden's Cage on the Cassia wasn't a whole lot that she could do there. Well played by the Richards. They came in, were able to find the pick. And I'm surprised to see the Avalanche didn't come out. I didn't see if maybe Mei was CC'd throughout that. Maybe you can give some insight, but yeah, there just wasn't a whole lot they could do. Cassia was caught out. Nobody had a cleanse, so it was more, do you go in and try to fight this, or we just kind of sacrifice? They chose to fight. Ultimately, didn't work out for them.
It looked like Virtuoso may have been caught by the very edge of that Warden's Cage, trying to set up for a good Avalanche, and then got pushed into that mosh pit. So just really, really nice job by the Richards in positioning those ults to deny as much counterplay as possible. And now it looks like they're going to get control point B uncontested as Archon gets the consolation prize of an extra turret here. It's Crafty Devil still threatening, saying, hey, the rest of my team might be here. Endurance of Hate actually going to come on out, and look, the rest of the team is here. Muffin getting the big pull, but Decker turning things around with the Scroll of Sealing. Piemaker coming in from the outside. Avalanche going to push Maiev away. Piemaker once again just dancing for days. That's going to be Deckard. Cassia, Mephisto are down. Mei is gone as well. The Richards just styling on him right now and going to start heading up and seeing what they can do with this Protector B.
Looked really dominant for Archon early on in this game, but now the Richards seem to have hit their stride, and they're looking really good. We have that encore for ETC, which can be really devastating because you just can't do the math. There's no way to, okay, we have 5%, this many people were hit, this person, you never know when the mosh pit is going to be up. So it was already back up for that next fight. They didn't know where anybody was on the map, and Archon just... I don't know what they can do right now. I guess play safe, hope for the best.
This is a really cool macro call coming out here from the Richards. ETC purposely left the point to allow the rest of the team extra time to split siege these forts. Because if they take it when the rest of Archon is down, that means less duration on this Protector. So they favor the siege, they favor the almost triple fort play before starting the timer on this objective. Very cool call.
Is one of the top tiers of play. Used to be the top tier before the Storm Division came along. And these players, you know, they're still Master, Grandmaster. They know exactly what they need to do to get the job done. They're taking this Protector to the bottom lane. It's going to be where the next objective is. Make it that much harder for the members of Archon to come through and get this next objective. Now, they will have to be careful because Grell isn't here. Lunara is out, so they could still find a pick onto her. Ana is in the Protector, so there is no healing. A lot of the peel comes from Maiev as well, who's also in the Protector, so if they wanted to maybe look for it, they could. However, looks like Richards are going to play safe. grab the fort back out and then maybe look for mid keep, or they're just gonna walk it around.
If I had to guess, they're probably just going to walk it around, stay safe here. They've got a massive advantage at 3 extra structures on the path to level 20 here. Taking a team fight while 2 of your most influential members are inside the objective is probably not high on their list right now. So we're going to see the Protector just move on back and start to expire here as Ryokai using that extra movement speed. The hippity hop and Lunara getting away from the gank.
Protector to its limit. Well done.
Always feels bad when you have to just let the Protector expire with the time limit because you just allowed the enemy.
JTR.
Oh, they find the cats. There's the pull. They're waiting. The open arms. He tries to get him out, but the honor grenade hitting them. No heals. Out come out. There's the avalanche. There's the stay a while and listen to shut it down. And two cats is nobody. Back to catch is secret. Stuck out. They drop the heal ball's not going to be enough. Ana going to be the next to go down. Great Warden's Cage, though. Haze full of poison is going to be the next to fall here. 1 for 2. Virtuoso has to use that cryo freeze. Rio trying to dissuade anybody from coming from the low members of the team. They're looking back. Going to be May next. Push back in. Does go down. Now it's just Deckard and Mephisto. They can't do any more. Gonna back out. 1 for 3 in favor of the Richards.
Richard's doing a great job of going back in. Ryokai, some crafty footwork there to get away from the Lightning Nova. Just repositioning there. They'll find an extra turret. That's 2 for them. They're going to start to peel back and paint this map red. So Richard's absolutely in control right now. A full 2-level lead with the level 20 advantage. Crafty Devil thinking about moving on to this siege. Looks like the rest of the team is going to come on through. See if Midnight Haze scouts this out as they start to move around to the top lane.
Not having the May is really going to be difficult for Archon for the next couple of seconds because, again, we should see all these camps go over to the Richards just because we won't be able to step up. There isn't anybody to really scout anything. And, of course, the other 2 being on the other side of the map. So you don't want to go that far. Level 20 coming online for the Richards. So just that much longer, they're going to have to wait to look for a team fight. We might see everything come to a head right around this bottom point. The final Protector, maybe. Usually the 3rd one doesn't end anymore. We'll have to see. Depends on if the Richards grab it, I think.
If we take a look at the side of the Richards right now, they don't have like a super good siege comp to be able to just blitz the core. But the, like, just the way these team fights have been going. Look at that. Fall to the Wardens, avoiding the Valkyrie. Looks like they're going to start a slow siege here in the bottom lane. If they can soften up this keep, this last Protector may be able to go core. Oh, look at that Durance. That's huge damage onto Muffin and Pie Maker. Midnight Haze just sort of flexing on that Mephisto right now, saying, no, this is my area.
These plays are looking so good for Archon. There's the Warden's Cage coming out. Out from Stay a While and Listen as well. Does not touch anybody. Warden's Cage pushing everyone back. And Doom coming out as well. They're having a really rough time. Maiev able to just bounce through most of this CC and then catch somebody out, paying it back tenfold. Leo Haze, I feel so bad for. They're struggling. They find these entombs, but everybody else is in such a panic. You can't really lock anyone down, and as such, most of the Richards are just kind of walking out of the hallway.
Absolutely. They're a fantastic split. Gets them out of that last entomb. Of course, Buried Alive is coming online, so when it does land, you're not going to see the members sliding out, jumping out, sleeping their way out. They're just going to have to sit there and wait. Protector C. This is... Archon really needs this point. Richard's going to go ahead and move back. They know they've got time. They're going to start their siege camp in the top right. But Archon, they know if they lose this Protector point, they're in serious trouble looking at the late game.
Luckily for Archon, most of their heroics have relatively short cooldowns. Deckard is coming up right now. He's gone for the Respect the Elderly. That will give him the extra silence. So... that coupled with Leo, May has gone for the upgrade as well, so reducing the cooldown and the blinds.
Oh no, Cassia's been caught. JTR, that's the double leaping strike. Muffin trying to get the pull. Cassia's still alive for now. Oh my gosh, somehow still living. But Muffin is on the chase. That's going to be it for Cassia. ETC has been counter-killed. Urel starting to move on back with that Ardent Defender. Muffin's not done. The Nano Boost going to catch out Deckard Cain. Midnight Haze is moving around the terrain trying to survive here. But look at that Lunara damage. That's going to be it. Triple kill, trading out for ETC. Hayes and Virtuoso are going to have to start the retreat, but can they actually get away here? Crafty Devil with the knockback. That's going to be Leoric going down.
Oh, poor Hayes. Can I just control my character, please? Trying to get out, unable to do so. Now the members are looking at pushing this keep down, going to get it, with just no trouble at all. Lunara has gone for Nature's Calling, extra damage to non-heroics, which buildings definitely are. So, Urel standing on the point, and do they even... Yeah, they're going to wait for the Protector before they... head back.
Their siege is just a little bit too delicate with that Maya of Lunara. They're just going to go ahead and wait for that big bulky protector to come on through here. Let's get those lanes set up. It looks like the top keep also going down to the pressure of the siege and the catapults. Going to go ahead and pick up a heal camp as well. The Richards are fully in the driver's seat here.
Everyone is back up from Archon. They have one more chance to bring this back. Now... this is Heroes of the Storm. You know, it's not any other MOBA where you fed at 9 minutes into the game and now the team is so stacked they can just execute you at 20% health. So one team fight could turn this round. This is their very, very last chance to bring it back. There's the overtime. Virtuoso is on the point. Everyone is here. Can they make something happen?
Archon is betting it all on point C here. Virtuoso has to stay on the point with Crafty Devil, so these teams are just jockeying for position in the mid. Midnight Haze is going to warp on in. Ryokai going down to half health here. Uses the Leaping Strike to reposition. Crafty little bit of button mashing there coming out from Ryokai as Crafty Devil now has to get away. Oh, pops the Ardent Defender early. Great anticipation coming on out from Crafty Devil. Urel trying to get away here. Ryokai once again so low. But Richards are going to go ahead and recover here.
There was a big cooldown they burned. In the top lane, somebody's going to have to deal with that eventually. There's a catapult up there. We're going to look for another team fight. Saywal hitting nobody. Decker going for a ride on the conveyor belt. Decker, Virtuoso getting very low. Hits two with the avalanche. Out comes that. A Warden's Cage is going in. There is a Mephisto going down. May Leoric, this looks to be the end. Virtuoso is going, or excuse me, JTR going to go down. Playmaker slides on top of them. They're hanging out with the potions trying to save, but only delaying the inevitable. Little Beck's the last to fall, and that's going to be game, I believe. Yep, minions are pushing. Protector has been claimed, or will be claimed in just a moment here.
The Richards coming up big in the final team fight. Archon knew that was pretty much their only chance, putting in a great effort there at the end, but just too strong all game long here. The Richards going to go up 2-0 in this grand finals as the Protector comes on down the lane, may not even get here in time as Ryokai jumping all over that core. And there it is. 2-0 over to the Richards. GG.
Nicely done. Now, we did have a pretty strong showing from Archon in the early game. If they can just continue that through, I have a strong feeling about game number 3. They're starting to understand a little bit more. The Richards, though, beautifully played. They got everything they wanted in draft. They knew that their team scaled, so they just had to be patient. They didn't trade over so many deaths, waited until their power spikes went in, and then from there, it was just all uphill.
Absolutely there. That was definitely not the one-sided affair it seemed like at the end. Archon showing signs of life through the mid-game, turning those team fights over. Unfortunately, just didn't really get the opportunity to turn that into siege, as we saw there with 6 remaining structures over on the side of the Richards. And we were a little lukewarm on that Lunara, but Ryokai coming up big, top siege, top hero damage, top experience soaked. I am sorry, Ryokai. I will never doubt you again.
Where's this Lunara when I'm in Storm League? Like, I see a Lunara and I'm like, all right. And then, you know, she's like 1 in 11 and has 6 hero damage. So...
To be fair, Ryokai had to make some very, very crafty maneuvers to get on out of there, knowing exactly... like how much room he had. There were multiple times in those team fights where he went down to half health and just went, nope, and took the absolute longest way around so nobody could barely touch him, coming on back just to do the last bit of damage. Very, very nicely done here.
You have to
Quick
have
look
like
at the take a quick look at the talents here. And yeah, really, really good.
You just have to have a master's in geometry to play Lunara easy. Hanzo too, so maybe we'll get to see Rio bust out some Hanzo later on. As not for us, never mind. A look here. We had a couple of really great Durances from Midnight Haze there. I was excited to see them. Unfortunately, the counter engage was just so strong from the Richards. Every time they went in, waiting so patiently. The Pie Maker makes me believe on the ETC. He was nerfed, has fallen in priority for a lot of tank players, and the Pie Maker makes him still look so very strong.
Absolutely. You were mentioning that, I mean, Deckard, absolutely great counter to ETC. Normally, you don't get to catch Deckard in those mosh pits, but I think the pairing with the Maiev, able to just muffin going on back, pulling that Deckard forward to get into that mosh, not able to use the sleep to interrupt it, was a big turnaround. We saw, what was that, 3-4 full duration mosh pits that game?
It was something crazy like that. Yeah, I do recall the Pie Maker should really be a band to consider once again. I think that ETC was absolutely gnarly. There were so many times where somebody was out or somebody had a life-saving ability ready, and then the slide would come in, or the knockback, or the mosh, and there was just nothing they could do about it.
Absolutely. Looks like our next lobby is ready to go here. Once again, the Richards choosing map, and we're going to go to Alterac Pass here for game number 3 as the Richards try to close out this series. Interesting choice here, Jinxeekatt. What do you think of Alterac in general? Do you think that's going to favor the Richards once again, or do you think the Archon's got something ready for us?
So based on everything we've seen so far, I think the Richards, with their macro decisions, may have the upper hand, just because there are 2 bosses here. They do seem to have a solid idea of what to do with their free time, so they're not constantly wandering around. You know, they're always grabbing a camp, looking at where an additional wave can be soaked. They fight really well in tight quarters, and if they run the exact same comp back, which I don't think Archon should let them do, then this might be the quick 3-0 we're seeing.
Could be. Our draft is getting up and ready to go. Remind our viewers of the series situation. Braxis Holdout, Hanamura Temple, Infernal Shrines, and Battlefield of Eternity. We're banned away for this series. Dragonshire and Volskaya Foundry going over to the Richards. Once again with map pick here, the Richards are taking us to Alterac Pass. Let's jump into this draft here, where we see a first ban Abathur coming out here from Archon.
Johanna once again gonna be taken away. 10-0. Reminder, everybody, you just don't let that through.
Especially, I mean, with the style that the Richards have been going, with the CC trains, with the slows, having a constantly unstoppable tank is kind of a problem.
I'm really curious, like, if the other teams just maybe didn't do their homework or what had happened, because after about, they're 5-0 on it. They're 6-0. They're 7-0. There's the ETC steal. I think it's a really smart play by Archon. But how do you just keep letting that through?
There's been a big anti-Johanna push, I feel, in NGS specifically. Because Johanna, across all divisions, is the most played tank. That is just true. And the win rate for Johanna across all divisions is like 45% or less. So there's been all these teams just saying, don't ban Johanna, Johanna's bad, Johanna's bad. But when you look across at 10-0, you got to think that there's some special sauce there.
That's just a really, superb Johanna player. We're going to see Stukov and Chromie come out here from Muffin and Secret. I like this on the mat, being able to poke from so far away. Does allow for great interruptions over the wall for some of these points. Sylvanas Rhaegar, interesting.
Very interesting here from Little Bex. We see Rhaegar almost never, but what Rhaegar does have that the other healers we have seen in this series don't is a cleanse. So important now that the medallion is gone.
I like that you bring that up. I mean, the biggest thing that everyone always says when Rhaegar is in is, we think it's going to be Bloodlust. But I really like the cleanse into the Chromie, just because now there is no longer a medallion temporal loop is a viable choice of heroic again. It is a relatively short cooldown, so having the cleanse, you can save the member, whoever's been looped, so great pickup there. And we can still get Bloodlust with the cleanse, who knows?
Absolutely, it can be done. Falstad can be banned away, just a very strong Alterac pass map pick. Great boss control on a double boss map. And Archon not willing to give up the Cassia this time. Probably would have been a good second choice for them, but I think it absolutely would have been taken here by the Richards had it been available. You know what's still up here, though, Jinxe? It's Phoenix.
Ooh, oh, man. Come on, Rio, do it.
Is this a Planet Cracker map? This has got to be a Planet Cracker map, right? Go with me on this one.
Oh, he's going to grab the Rainer. I mean, every map is a... I can't speak tonight. Every map is a Planet Cracker map if you're brave enough.
I do like the Rainer here just because the mid Null camp is so important. Phoenix can do it, absolutely. Good, strong camp clear, but not as strong as Rainer. And when you've got the long-range poke, the slows of Chromie activating the extra damage from Rainer, I do like that pickup. As we see a Genji coming on out from JTR, and it's going to be Hayes playing Dahaka.
This is interesting to me. So first and foremost, I love the Chromie Rainer just because that is a classic combo of we live all the way in our base and we're pinging you in yours. They have such long range, it's really hard for heroes to go in, especially somebody like ETC who just wants to slide in there and get in there. Genji can dive as well. This is a very dive-heavy comp. You can go in with 4 Archon. The Dahaka worries me a little bit. There aren't a ton of bushes. He is a global, it is a big map, but there aren't a lot of places, especially around some points. You have to go nearly to top lane and then kind of scurry in to fight around that top objective.
Absolutely. It's a tough one on Alterac. We'll have to see how it goes. Game number 3, Archon versus the Richards. Let's get into it. Alrighty, game number 3 loading on in here. Once again on the left in the blue, we have Archon. JTR going to be playing the Genji, Virtuoso on ETC. Midnight Hayes is playing Sylvanas. Hayes is on the Dahaka, and it is Little Bex on the Rhaegar.
And over here on the right-hand side, Muffin on the Chromie. Stukov is going to be played by Secret. Ryokai is your Rainer. Crafty Devil on the Diva. And the Pie Maker is your Varian.
Nice job picking out the members from that very condensed crew on the right. Loading in here to game number 3. We see it is the Lion's Maw quest for Varian. Dahaka holding that level 1. Always interested to see what Dahaka's end up going. Will it be the health? Will it be the speed? It looks like it will be enhanced agility coming on out for Hayes. As the long-range siege is already up and running here for the Richards. Crafty Devil pushing them back the members of Archon. Want to see what the split is. I'm expecting Varian to end up in a lane, maybe top, because Rainer's going to have to peel off for that camp pretty soon.
I'm really curious how this is going to work for both teams as well, Crush. As Midnight Hayes eats a lot of Chromie damage because neither one of these teams have superb wave clear.
Looks like it will be the Varian versus the Genji here. What Genji does lack in wave clear does gain in kill pressure. So we'll have to see the Genji rotate. Muffin hanging on out here near that time trap. There it is.
Catching Genji in a time trap, that's, I mean, you should get an achievement for that. It's really hard to do. We're going to see the Richards already step up onto that camp. Rainer has gone for the Exterminator, so is able to finish it a little bit quicker than the side of Archon, but they're getting their way through it. Rhaegar has a little bit of help. See if Sylvanas does go for that Mercenary Queen, or if they're just going to opt to to go for another talent. Time Walker's Pursuit, always keeping an eye out. Looks like the Pie Maker has left the game. We're seeing if we're gonna have a player pause. Yep, there it is.
Bring it on back to us there. Speaking of Exterminator, there's a lot of blind hate out there for that talent, but on a map such as this, where Siege is so important, where the objectives are all AI controlled, and just looking at the fact that you've got your Chromie, your Diva, especially Varian in the tank position. Without it, I think the Richards might just get run over here on Siege, so I do like that pickup as a talent.
I think it's really solid, and who's complaining about it? Like, I want to talk to them. Everybody is so hell-bent on having CC heroes and all that good stuff, and so many of them don't really have any kind of wave clear. So many meta heroes right now are lacking in wave clear, so having Raynor to push down things does really help, and it helps because it counts as monsters. So if you lose the objective, you can help. I prefer it over any of the other talents. Oh,
It's just,
man.
there's always value to be had. Yes, you lose a little bit of team fight damage, but you've got Chromie on your side, right? Like, Chromie's going to be dealing out plenty of damage. It's not like you're going solo backline Exterminator Raynor. So there's some people, like, the ones who just deal in absolutes are almost always wrong, right?
Right.
And it's good to be able to look at a talent and not just think, what's the win rate over on Hero's profile. It's why pick it in certain situations, and I think it's a good idea to examine stuff like that.
I definitely agree here. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else coming out that's interesting. Chromie has her level 4 talent already, so while we're looking at these, she's gone for the Adhoral Anomaly. So extra time traps from Chromie, we'll be able to place them all over. And for me personally, as a tank, this is one of the most devastating talents just because she has 3 of them, and your favorite thing to do as tank, sit in the bush, ready to go out. Pardon me, the puppers needs to go out the room. There we go. You're in the bush, you're waiting to check up on somebody, and then you're immediately stopped. So now she has the opportunity to do that 3 times. Is super powerful.
Great versus enemy tanks who want to come in on angles. Great versus Genjis who could show up literally anywhere. So you just stand in your little triangle zone and feel safe. Looks like our teams are about back and ready. We've got the ready. We've got the ready. Let's click the button and get back into this game.
Alrighty, so Knolls have been taken. Everybody looking to clear them out. Sylvanas has a little bit of an advantage with the black arrows, going to shut everything down. Once she gets the Mercenary Queen, we'll be able to do that as well without using the trade, assuming she goes for us.
Absolutely here. Sylvanas is... The impact of Sylvanas can never really be understated, regardless of the map. Now, this is a big siege map, so we're going to see Sylvanas be able to sneak around if we see Archon pick up the objectives, get a lot of extra value that you otherwise wouldn't. But also with such a big map, sometimes Sylvanas can just kind of go missing and end up sieging down walls that you wouldn't normally get. So it's going to be up to the Richards to sort of keep an eye on Midnight Haze and make sure to keep tabs on Sylvanas at all times.
Somebody's always got to be on that Sylvanas duty. We're going to have our objective starting here in just a moment. And it looks like the wave clear is going to go ahead in the advantage of the Richards right now. We're going to see Taunt coming out is the early advantage of Varian. And goodbye to Haka, going to fall. First blood going over to the side of the Richards.
The essence use not quite enough there to Haka. We'll be back up in a couple moments. We'll be able to burrow in, but a little bit of XP will be lost. Teams are on to their camps once again. Similar to Volskaya Foundry, you see the double cap on the camps. You see the finding of level 7. You see the killing of Genji before the first objective.
The objective on this one is really interesting just in the fact that many teams don't even try to step up to it until they have level 7, may not look for it until they have a defined point, and killing the Genji is a defined point to step up. ETC gonna be taking a bunch of damage, great use of the taunt into the Sukhov silence, a classic combo. They have to back out, and Richards just on top of this map.
Both teams will reach level 7. Genji back on the battlefield. We'll see if the Richards, they only need to hold this for another 7 seconds here. Virtuoso, oh no. Going in a little bit low health and getting caught out by that taunt. So this will definitely be going over to the red team. And we're going to have our first Raiders of the game marching down these lanes.
Looks like they've opted to go for the bottom lane here. Secret staying to just try and clear a little bit in that middle lane because there are still Knolls pushing away for the side of Archon, but not for long. D.Va's made their way down there, down here in the bottom. They've already got the wall down and the Raiders haven't even made their way over.
Raiders starting to catch up here. Piemaker threatening for another taunt, but of course, charging underneath that fort could be a problem. The long-range siege of Chromie here is going to be all sorts of trouble. Virtuoso trying to find their way into the back line. Great cleanse there from Little Bex to save ETC in that spot. But this bottom fort is in all kinds of trouble here, Jinxe.
It's not going to be long for this world. Out comes the slowing sands. That's going to make it even harder. ETC slides in, gets a big knockback, ends up getting taunted, loses most of their health, and nearly goes down. Does in fact go. The long-range hope of the Richards just so difficult to deal with, especially when you want to get in there.
The secret Stukov silences have been superb and sublime throughout this game. Finding multiple picks here, 4 kills going over to the Richards. I almost made it through that alliterative pun without breaking, but I did. Going to be an early level 10 here for the Richards. They're not going to go straight to a boss here. They're going to grab their null camp once again. That is, I would say that's more important on this map. Like, there's just so much experience built into that camp on such a low cooldown. I think you've got to pick that up at all costs. But now rotating to the bottom boss with their level 10s. Even with 5 up on the side of Archon, this is a pretty safe play.
We always make the joke that the middle lane is the boss, the Knolls. They do negative armor to heroes, to minions, to structures, even to the core. So it does tend to get more value than the boss. Being level 10, there is absolutely no contestation here. I'm surprised to see that the members of Archon didn't go for the top boss. Maybe they didn't know that they were on it. Maybe they're just really trying to soak to that level 10. I'm not in comp. We'll have to see what they're going to do here. Looks like they're just going to try and defend it out. There's a lot to clean up here, a lot of work to put in. And Richard just going to keep moving along, grab this top boss.
They did move across the lane, so Archon knows that they're here. You see Sylvanas and ETC are starting to come in, but look at that burn. Ryokai just blasting away with that Rainer. Virtuoso going to get stopped by the time trap. That's going to be a completed double boss play coming in for the Richards.
Just nothing you can do. The members of the Richards are all set up. But then you can try and find the flag. Chromie's usually got something there. The slowing sands come out. There's the taunt. There's the silence in the slow, no less. Sylvanas Wailing Arrow looking pretty good there, though. Genji coming in with the Dragon Blade. Level 10 was found before that boss, but no kills are picked up for Archon. They're going to have to go back and deal with that boss just pushing on the keep.
Richards successfully avoiding any deaths there. They're going to move on to this objective. Virtuoso thinking better about it, invade there. And Archon is in a really tough spot here. We see Dahaka trying to push out the mid to give at least one lane of access here to Archon. There's the trap. JTR is in the back line, trying to just ward back the members of the Richards. Hayes doing the same, allowing the rest of Archon to move on up here. Secret actually gets dragged in by Hayes. ETC getting the mosh as well, interrupted by Ryokai. But Stukov's going to go down, but will the rest of Archon fall? ETC is going to go down. Hayes in all sorts of trouble. That's Dahaka. Little Bex getting chased down, just whittled to death by D.Va. 3 for 1 going over to the Richards. Another set of Raiders. And these top and bottom lanes are already pushed into the keep walls here, Jinxe.
That was looking pretty good for Archon. I thought maybe this was the comeback, the mosh. Just after the penetrating round, he had to wait a couple of seconds for it to be back up. I was like, all right, here we go. The container, the isolation coming out onto Stukov, followed by the drag to interrupt the massive shove was so good, but just not enough. Chromie putting in work. Muffin chunking out everybody there with the slowing stance to keep them in place. And now this is going to be at least one keep, maybe two. There's another drag. The D.Va, so impossible to kill. Even if you do, it's just the mech. Pilot will pop out. Keep in the top lane. Not long for this world.
Richards up 2 levels here along with the talent here. This could be trouble for ETC once again. Virtuoso managing to slide out. D.Va ready with that bomb as Midnight Haze poking from the edges. But like you said, this keep absolutely going down here. Bottom keep could be in trouble too as it is pushing uncontested. Richards moving on off to the mid lane. Looks like Sylvanas going to go to the bot. And the slow siege continues here. What does Archon need to do to get back into this game?
There's a lot of work that needs to be done right now. For starters, they got to deal with the objective. That's the biggest thing. Pushing on the core, they still have 2 keeps up, so shouldn't end just yet. In fact, top has already cleaned itself out. Bottom is going to do the same. Genji is chasing around. If they can find a pick onto somebody who's off alone and maybe try to force fights that way, they can't keep taking the fair 5v5. They are 13 to 15. This is the same talent here. If they can just look for somebody who's soaking a wave, trying to find something, even if they get this 13 to 16, if you're 1v5, it can make for a very difficult fight, despite the talent. So find the pick, try and make something happen, and then slowly move from there. Game is difficult, but not unwinnable.
Archon moving around the edges. They want to find a fight before 16 talent here comes in. Genji going to be caught by the time trap here. Somehow manages to go through the silence. I guess started early. Taunt is good onto ETC, but saved by Rhaegar. Nice silence arrow coming out from Sylvanas. But once again, the Richards just denying multiple ults coming out from Archon and going and resetting behind those walls. And now Archon, they're on the retreat here.
They have to run out. They burned a lot of really powerful ults. Oh, ETC going to mosh pit in the middle of the D.Va mech. Catches 2, but there's the bomb. Genji going to try and dash away. Looks like Haze is going to be the sacrifice. Nothing can be done to save them. A lot of big protective barriers were used in that fight. Rhaegar had used the ancestral healing. Sylvanas wailing arrow. In fact, every single heroic is down here now. Meanwhile, only massive shove and micro missiles were used in the last fight. So the Richards were basically good to go. In fact, every single ultimate, I think the longest cooldown is, gosh, what is it? 20 seconds, 5 seconds, 45. Yeah,
Massive
45
shove
seconds.
maybe on 45.
That's the longest heroic cooldown. So
looking at possibly another double boss here. Members are backing, heading straight to the top lane here for the Richards. Not even bothering with the objective. The bottom boss going to be pushing onto a keep. Top boss going to be going straight core here. See what the Richards want to do here. If they want to push with this boss or if they want to move to the objective. Now, even with a boss, 2 keeps up, the Alterac core is extremely difficult to deal with. So I feel like the Richards want to get another keep here before they think about core.
Ending the game with 1 keep down is incredibly difficult, no matter how far ahead you are. If you have a 5-man team wipe, then it is doable. 5-man with the objective, easily enough.
Bottom keep going to be saved here.
They have a double boss, but Archon, they're back in base. These bosses push, they don't end. So if they can keep these keeps up, if they can try and... Okay, very unlucky. Genji goes in, does go down. The boss is pushed in the top lane.
Dropping in at exactly the wrong spot. Piemaker, nice reactive taunt there. Looks like we're going to have the Richards starting up this camp, thinking about this bottom keep and really just setting up for the victory here. If they can get this keep down, top wave is already crashing onto core. If we get Raiders in both lanes, that's going to be checkmate.
It is looking really difficult. Wailing Arrow comes out, though. Chromie is going to be bursted down. The core is falling fairly quickly.
Oh my goodness, the core.
It's so low, and that's a lot of minions. Nobody is going back. They're fighting. It's 6K. Finally, Genji's coming back, but he's got the worst wave clear on the team. Sylvanas is helping. The core is jumping in. They finally take it. This point is stalled. The damage and support are dead for the moment. Richards are backing off, and I think for the first time in this entire game, Archon can breathe.
Core is going to regenerate here. They got back just in time. The Richards going to go ahead and regroup, but there's still 15 seconds without Chromie and Stukov. Even if they lose this Raider camp here, that's going to allow Archon to take back the vision on the map. But still a full level, almost level and a half behind here is Archon. But a very important first step to getting back into this game, getting back into this series.
They're showing some signs of life. It's just kind of twitching around on the floor right now. The Hawka basically lives in base. They're taking a fight now. He will be able to burrow in. Nice use of the Unstoppable. There's D.Va. Ancestral does come out. The Hawka looking for the back. It's a great isolation onto Ryokai there, so has to back out. There's another slice coming in. JTR has Dragon Blade available. Crafty Devil has to disengage. The members of Archon are so low. They actually grab the point. That will help de-push the lanes. Sylvanas is traded out here.
Look at the slows from Stukov. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I don't know if this objective is going to matter. That's 3 people dead for a very long time.
It's going to help keep the minions off the core, but it may not be enough. Piemaker going in, getting the kill onto Genji. This bottom keep's going to go down, and I think the Richards are just going to move on to this core. Only the 20 armor left. Still 20 seconds without Sylvanas. Crafty Devil's got the bomb available, and this looks like it's going to be it. The Richards coming in with the 3-0 victory, and they've just secured their spot in the next season of Storm Division. GG.
Nicely done. The Richards showing why they deserve to be in Storm Division. They'll be able to compete for that prize pool next season. Really well played. 14 kills on the side of the red team there, and only Muffin and Secret going down that whole game. So you know who to report for feeding. Really well done. Great plays all around. They knew exactly what they wanted all 3 games and made it happen.
Just dominant start to finish there. 3 very different comps coming on out from the Richards in all 3 games, just making everything work, showing their flexibility there. Chromie doing so much work in that last game, just executing everyone left and right, 5 finishing blows there. Genji sweeping across with that Dragon Blade, getting top damage, but unfortunately that D.Va defense matrix was just so oppressive onto the ults of Archon, and ultimately Richards are victorious. Take a quick look at the talent screen, and then I will see if I can lock down an interview here with our champions. Take a quick look over here. Anything in that talent screen coming up interesting there, Jinxe?
That's what I was just about to talk about. Well, you do just that. Is look, Crafty Devil didn't pick their level 20, but we do have, of course, Glory to the Alliance, the Execute from Raynor. So far, very standard. Save the Blessing of the Bronze. Now, it was nerfed almost as soon as it came out during the Chromie rework, so it wasn't as powerful as it used to be, but of course, that is the, it's a 30-second cooldown, and you activate it, and all the allied heroes, geez, I can't speak this evening, gain 20% movement speed and have their basic abilities recharge 35% faster for 8 seconds. Using your echoes reduces it by 1 second. So came out, got a lot of value just in allowing some of those shorter cooldowns to constantly be up. Varian with the charge, who actually opted for the Warbringer as opposed to the shield wall, just being able to constantly go in and follow up. Full charge build with the Lion's Maw, the Lion Heart, the Warbringer, and then of course the Juggernaut. Really just constantly trying to get in, and what better way to dive a dive team than to just dive in.
Really good stuff there coming on out from the Richards. Let's head on down to lobby 5 there and try to find ourselves an interview. I will throw up the blocker. Let's head on down to meet Muffin.
Alrighty.
All right, here we are. Muffin, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on the big 3-0. That's got to feel good.
Oh, hails, yeah, we are. Oh man, we were so anxious for this match tonight, but it just feels honestly so good that it's over finally. Oh, my soul is like drained out of my mind.
Looking super, super dominant there. Of course, the big story of this week, Medallion no longer in the game. Was there a real big change in terms of your game plan from last week through to, or last, I guess 2 weeks ago at this point, through to this week with that big meta shift?
Oh, absolutely. There are so many team comps, so many individual heroes that are just so much stronger with Medallion being gone. As you might have seen in our games, we were very focused on just getting in, smacking someone real fast, and getting out.
Absolutely. Looking really, really good there in all three. Game number 2, it looked like things were a little bit more back and forth. Of course, Volskaya Foundry can be a little bit of a tough map to end on there. When you're pushing in with those sort of mid-game, late-game objectives and it's that much more dangerous, what sort of positioning tips would you give to people to make sure that the enemy team doesn't just walk past your protector and kill you?
When we're pushing with a protector, honestly, if it looks like the enemy team, like if they're like really gunning to run you down, you should only have, I think, one person inside the protector. So you would be playing it like you're on Dragonshire. You have just one person in the objective, and that person can do stuff. Like that person in the protector can still give that fat shield. Like, the gunner just does damage. It doesn't provide anything else, but having that
Right.
shield is just enough to prevent team fights from happening.
Interesting. I haven't seen a whole lot of that, but that's a good point. Just having that one extra hero out there and the protector with those couple of more tank-like abilities can definitely help out. Very cool. All right, Jinxe, any burning questions there?
Just how were you guys feeling coming? I know you said you were a little bit nervous, but you were one of the only teams to 2-0 this team. Were you guys ready to do it again? Was there anything that was really draining on you? How did you guys prepare for this one, I guess, is my big question.
Well, leading up to this, when we played against them in the regular season, they actually didn't have their tank Virtuoso, and Virtuoso is one of the best tanks I've ever played with. He's absolutely phenomenal. So, like leading up to this, our draft strategy was mainly focused around trying to put him on tanks that he can't carry the game with.
Right.
Okay.
So that was a lot of the Johanna Diablo bans then.
Absolutely. We saw, coming into the game, one of the big stories we had from the stat screen was basically an undefeated Johanna that was universally banned there. So yeah, having the a target player in mind, or just knowing the enemy win condition, absolutely showed through there in that series. Of course, the big question coming in from chat, you have now clinched your spot in the next series of Storm Division. There's that's got to feel good. Are there any sort of big training that you're going to be doing going into that? Any coaching that you're going to be seeking as you move into that top division here in NGS?
Storm Div, it's quite a ways away. We don't know for sure what we're going to be doing just yet. And maybe we'll be in, maybe we won't. Who knows? I know it's tragic if we kind of get our spot, but then we just don't play. But sometimes things just be that way. So
We
we'll
are
see.
still a couple months out for sure. We've got some time there, so hopefully we get to see you in there. But we will have to wait and see, of course. Alrighty, well. In the meantime, you have the heroic grand finals in your grasp. Congratulations. The floor is yours. Are there any shout-outs you'd like to make before we close things down here?
Well, first, a huge shout out to the enemy team. They put up a hell of a fight. Yeah, like I said before, we were super nervous coming into this because oh man, their regular season, they dominated like every single team except us. But yeah, they played super well. And Nexus, big shout out to my team. A bunch of our members. It's actually our first time playing in heroic, so I don't know, going into this season. Honestly, I have like a super huge confession to make. It's super embarrassing, actually. Before the season started, we actually asked to be dropped into Div A because we thought we would get wrecked the entire season.
Oh yeah.
So I just need to like, I'm wildly ashamed of that. It's like NGS knows better. They were right all along. But yeah, it's a bunch of our players' first time playing in heroic. We didn't expect to win, but we freaking made it, and so wow, go us. Huge shout out to everyone who I told to come watch this game and did come to watch this game. Y'all are the best. Y'all are why I love playing in NGS, and just the community is awesome. You guys are awesome, by the way. Thanks for casting. Casting is
Oh,
awesome.
our
Y'all are the
pleasure
best.
entirely. Really,
It was
really
really fun. Thank you guys.
fantastic stuff. All right, Muffin, thank you very much for joining us. And yeah, good luck hopefully going forward next season.
Yep. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, Jinx, you want to go back up to the video call?
Sounds good.
All right, we're back in. We're going to remove the blocker. There's Jinxe. Perfect. All right, well, quite the series there. A 3-0 dominant victory there from the Richards. Looking fantastic. They were the bane of Archon in the regular season, and they come up big in the grand finals. Everyone in chat, hope you had a great time watching today. These fantastic games. Really, really, really well done. Yeah, as we close things out, Jinxe, thank you so much for joining me. This was a blast. This is the second time we've got to cast together, and I hope it's the second of many. Why don't you tell everyone out there where they can find your stuff?
It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so very much for having me. You can find me over at twitch.tv/Jinxeekatt or on Twitter at Jinxeekatt as well. We do a lot of NGS casting. We play some heroes and some WoWs. So I'd love for you guys to come hang out. And Crush, you're not here all the time. Where can people find you?
When I'm not here on the main channel, you can find me on my personal Twitch channel, twitch.tv/thekrushinator. You can find me casting a lot of heroes. I'm going to be playing more heroes going forward. Maybe a WoW stream here and there, as Shadowlands has been great. But when I'm not here on Twitch, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Krushinator. And you can find all the casts that I do over on YouTube. Just search the Krushinator. Pretty much anywhere you'll find me. All right, well, that is going to do it for this broadcast. Once again, thank you for joining me. Everyone out there in chat, hope you had a great time with this series. Don't forget to come on by tomorrow night. Division B West Grand Finals right here on this channel. Going to be hosted by Jazzaline and Not Paradox at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. Don't miss it. All right, that's going to be it for us. Thanks for joining me. We will see you all next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.